July 15th, Bobby Green.
Oh, that's right, down in San Diego. Very nice. Oh, that's right. Hey, folks, it's Karen Bryant for MMA Heat. I'm here with Ally Aquinta. Of course, he is Chris Weidman's teammate. Dude. Dude. I'm sure you knew Chris would win in your heart, but did you think he'd win like that?
I thought there was a great chance, that he takes him down and just dominates him on the ground, because I think, that's Chris's bread and butter. The last couple of fights have been stand-up fights, but that's where Chris is the most comfortable, and that's where he takes care of business. And it ended up, a crazy first round. Mm-hmm. He got the takedown beautifully, put him right on his back and mounted, and it was awesome.
Did you think for a second, though, that he was rocked? Because, Vitor was so explosive in that first round, and it did look like Chris was like a uh-oh moment for him.
That's Vitor.
Yeah.
He's explosive in the first round, and, Chris expected that. Ray, Matt, they trained for that. Was he hurt in the first round? Maybe a little bit, but it's nothing that he hasn't seen before, and he's so tough. That was awesome. We were going crazy. It was, I don't know. I can't explain it. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the camp, though. Did you, he's been thinking about Vitor for so long. The fights were supposed to happen, then they weren't happening. There's an injury. Did he get frustrated at all? Was he tired of talking about Vitor? Did it, you know what I mean? Was it the type of thing where he was like, oh my God, I can't wait to just get this fight over with?
Yeah, I'm sure, but at the same time, that's what fuels him. It was a long time in the making, and it went back and forth, and there was the whole thing with the TRT and everything, and it just worked out awesome. It was a dream come true.
Well, the thing is, too, is he was more emotional than we've seen him. You know what I mean? It definitely seemed like Vitor really got under his skin much more than any other opponent ever has.
Yeah, I think he's the champ. He's been there for a while now. He's getting more comfortable, and that's his position. No one's, anyone that threatens him, he's taking him on, and that's it. There's no one. Now there's really, there's very few challengers. There's a couple, but he's going to take them all on. I know it.
Well, Luke Rockhold is probably next, and that's a good fight.
Like I said, there's very few, but there is one very tough, and Luke Rockhold he's big, he's tough, he's strong, and it's going to be a good fight. But I think there's no one in the world that trains as hard as Chris. No one's mind is as strong as his, and I think that anyone that gets in the cage with him is going to get dominated, because that's what he goes in there to do.
It was interesting, too, afterwards when he said, stop doubting me, get on the train. Like, what? And we were talking off camera, up until the Lyoto fight, obviously I was at the Anderson fights, and you could see the first one, you're like, wow, that was, I don't know. And then with the broken, I don't know. And after Lyoto, though, it was like, okay, you can't question the abilities that Chris has. But why do you think it is that people do still doubt him?
In the gym, we see him every day. We know what he can do. If people could see 20% of what he does in the gym, there would be no doubters. They don't see what he can do in the gym. I think, he fights at the MGM a lot. There's a lot of Brazilian fans here. So he's got, he's fighting an uphill battle every time. And, people are cheering for Vitor like crazy. Even coming into this fight, they're cheering for him like crazy. And when he walks out, it's mixed, there's no one that can hang with that guy. I'm telling you right now. There is nobody that can hang with him. He's so tough, and it's I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited.
I didn't get to see, from my angle, I couldn't see Ray and Matt, but they were bugging out, I'm sure, right? Well, as this fight was going on, did that, yeah.
I don't even know. I couldn't even tell. I couldn't even tell you what I was doing. We were going nuts. Oh my God. We were Aljamain Sterling's doing backflips in the aisles. Eddie Truck Gordon, freaking everybody. It was just,
it's great.
It was awesome. And we all had seats scattered around, and we sat together, and then people started coming. So they had to move, and it just worked out that we all ended up sitting together. Right. And it was just awesome that, I had a seat by myself, and everyone else was scattered around, and we all ended up sitting together somehow. It ended up working out, and I got to enjoy the fight with all my friends, all my my teammates. It was awesome.
Nice, very nice. And because we've seen Chris at your fights, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes they put the camera on him and
If they had the camera on us, people would be scared. We were going nuts. Even the people around us. Thank God there was not many. We were in a very American section,
nice.
So the Brazilians were not going too crazy.
Right.
But oh yeah, it was awesome.
Nice. Now listen, you have a fight coming up yourself with Bobby Green. So how's the preparation for that one going, and how do you feel about that matchup?
Preparation is going pretty good so far. I made it a week in Vegas.
Yeah.
I only went to Red Republic once. I kicked a table. That was bad. But we're good. We're going.
Good. Well, and it's MDW.
We're training at the MGM.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah. We were doing, dancing. We were drinking a little Budweiser here and there. We had a good time.
You're allowed, but yes,
it was good.
it's MDW. You've been counting down to MDW. It's here now. How do you feel that it's finally here?
You just reminded me.
Yeah,
I forgot all about that.
Dude, you had the countdown to Memorial Day weekend. You and your homies and everything, and now it's here.
It's
like
a day away.
No, dude. Well, yes, Memorial Day is Monday, but this is Memorial Day.
That was the thing. It was like I was like, oh, it's 20 days away. They're like, no, it's 22 days away, and this and that. We're gonna fly home. I have a flight in like a couple hours.
Oh,
we're going home. Monday, I'll be on Jones Beach, hanging out in Long Island with my New York friends,
Nice.
enjoying Memorial Day weekend, and then training. Then that's it. We got 7 weeks. Bobby Green, I'm coming for you, bro.
I'll let you go in a second, but how was the training going for the mamacitas? You still taking your Spanish?
Oh,
Muy bien, no?
todo los señoritas encanta Don Alejandro. You have no idea.
Very nice.
They love it.
Very nice. Thank you, Al.
Thank you.
Congratulations to your
Thank
team.
you.
Awesome.
It was a great time. Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right.
See you later. All right, folks, you can't not like this guy. I love Isabel Ayacuenta. So, listen, stay tuned. We're going to have the post-fight press conference. Obviously, if you're looking for stuff to watch in the meantime, we already have a bunch of post-fight interviews up with, we've got Stun Gun, we've got Natal, we've got, actually, Rose Namajunas came in and talked about the fact that she wasn't fighting. We have also Scoggins is up there, and we also heard from, who else did we catch already? There's another couple of post-fight interviews, and there's bonus ones. We have Demetrius Johnson in there already, Rafael Dos Anjos. And Demetrius was actually pretty fired up about John Dodson, because we talked to Dodson the other day, and he said he needed to be the anti-hero to the champ, and the champ's like, actually, I don't think so, and got kind of fired up about that. So we still have some more things to put up there as well. And we also heard from Paige Van Zandt. She stopped by. So there's definitely a lot of stuff there that you can just check out on my channel, Karen Bryant channel on YouTube. So just kind of stay put. They said this will be starting in about 10 or 15 minutes. And I have to say, while I have the opportunity, DC, obviously I work with him a lot at Fox, and he's just a wonderful guy and has been so focused on this. And it's really is amazing to see somebody that you're close to achieve their dreams and reach their goals. Really, really excited for him and really proud of him. I do think he's going to be a little obnoxious at work, though. I have a feeling we're going to have like a special place for the belt on the set and everything now. But in all honesty, Kenny and I really love that guy, and we're really psyched for him. So DC, job well done. And guys, stay tuned. We, of course, will see the new champ in just a bit. So while you're here, if you see this link, you can tell your friends, and I'll tweet it again and everything. So thanks for stopping by. It's what? Yeah, and if you miss any of it, it'll be archived. It'll just come right back there. So the same link will work. So I'm gonna go sit down now and go get really busy, and we'll see you guys later. Yeah, I'm gonna, but all right.
one of the greatest nights in UFC history. Attendance 12,615. 12,615 for a live gate of 5,189,167. 5,189,167. Fight of the night, Andre Arlovsky and Travis Brown. Performances of the night, Chris Weidman and Daniel Cormier. $50,000 for those guys. 2 transports tonight, Travis Brown and John McDessie. Travis Brown is back, x-rays negative. John is still being treated. Take our first question. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, thanks. For Chris, please. Obviously, yesterday, very emotional for you on the weigh-in stage. Tonight, though, it looked like you came in, gave him a little nod of respect. You guys touched gloves. Talk about that. I mean, what was the difference between yesterday and today? Was it a conscious decision to get over it, not be emotional? Was it just time passed? What was it to get that mindset?
No, yeah, pretty much a conscious decision. I'm used to coming in here and competing, and I'm not going to just come in here and think it's a fist fight or a bar fight. I'm going to just try to take these guys' head off. I'm in there to compete, mentally and physically break them. So it wasn't all the emotion from the weigh-ins, which is all real. I put to the side for the fight.
And obviously, he did have a little bit of success early, had a few nice shots, and it felt like when you did pause, you kind of felt the cut as well. What was going through your head at that point? Was there any panic?
It felt like a video game when you're going against the boss and his meter just starts dropping and dropping. That's what I was thinking. As every punch he threw, I'm like, your meter's dropping, and I'm going to keep moving forward. So eventually, I was confident. So you 3-starred him? I 3-starred him. I 3-starred him. Clash of Clans. He knocked some of my balloons down, but I kept on going.
And
Cowboy knows what I meant. Everyone else is just laughing for no reason.
And Chris, last question for you. Obviously, the big fight out there is Madison Square Garden, December. That sounds like the dream, but it's also a long way away, and it's not certain yet. So what's the play? Do you kind of wait it out and see? Because I know you'd love to be on that fight, or do you book something and say maybe you can get 2 more fights in this year?
I'll tell you what, I'm not missing the Madison Square Garden fight, that's for sure. So that's all I really care about. Asking about Jacare or Rockhold, honestly, it doesn't matter. I want to fight either one of them, but in Madison Square Garden, as long as I'm in that venue, I'm a happy man. That's a dream. So that's really the focus. I'm going to talk to the UFC, find out what the deal is with that, and we'll probably go from there.
Thanks, Chris. Andre, if I could quickly for you, we heard about your injury tonight. Can you tell us kind of how it was feeling and how close you came to potentially not fighting?
What I found out after the fight, that actually it was big discuss to don't let me fight tonight, and I mentioned before. I mentioned after the fight about some girl at Dora, my manager Leo Karolinsky. She was hit by a car, and I thought it's broken jaw, and that girl, she was my inspiration. She has many broken bones, and just she was my inspiration. I just fought through pain. Now it's kind of hurt, but during the fight I was okay.
And obviously you've got a nice run together now. The heavyweight division is kind of wide open. Are you already thinking about potential title shots and where you fit, or is it still just kind of getting back in line?
It's totally up to UFC. I can wait. I can fight forever.
Thanks, Andre. And just lastly, if I could, for Cowboy, so complimentary of John McDessie coming into this fight, saying what a great guy was. Talk about the mentality it takes to be so complimentary of a guy, but then go in there and break his jaw.
That was just a lucky shot, I guess. But people always say you're overlooking and people don't belong in. That's why I fight anybody, because you're in the UFC for a reason. It's not like he was standing on the corner, we'll fight for food. He's paved his way. And I don't want to come off arrogant and cocky, but saying, taking a fight with Cowboy on short notice, you got to be mentally strong and ready to go. So my hat is off to the dude just for coming in and being confident. And, man, he stood right in the pocket and gave it hell, man. So hope he heals up quick, and we'll see him back there soon.
Can you talk about the ending real quick? Did you know what had happened?
I had no idea. I thought maybe I fouled him or something. I had no idea. I was like, what the? Oh, okay, you're done. So I don't know.
And last question. I know you're always a company guy. You'll take whatever's next. But the body of work that you put together, there really doesn't seem to make much more sense other than a title shot.
By default.
What?
Title by default.
Well, I don't even know it's by default at this point. I think you've earned it. I mean, do you feel like you can finally sit back and say, listen, this is my time. Please, give it to me?
Absolutely. I would love to wait. Stupid. I'll wait for Denver, Colorado. Can I say that? I'll wait for Denver, Colorado. Joe?
Nothing to break yet.
Hey, Chris, right in front of you. What were you referencing about Vitor at the weigh-in yesterday? When you said his test levels were high, I talked to the commission. They said he passed all the pre-fight tests. So what do you know that we don't know?
When I was at the, I left him alone with this whole TRT thing, throughout the whole thing when he cheated. He got caught cheating a couple times. I left him alone throughout the whole camp. I didn't really want to think about it. But then when I was at the media scrum, Akamoto, right? I think that's the way you say his name. Is it ESPN? Anybody know him? Yes. Right? All right. He told me that he called up Nevada and got our test back. And that he got both my scores were like 370 and 370 both times, which is on the low side, but we're in training camp, so we're killing ourselves. And this is like from 2 weeks ago and like 4 weeks ago, so it was in the heat of the training camp. His was 500 and then 1200. So I'm like, all right, this is a guy who needed TRT his whole life, not his whole life, but for such a long time because he was suffering and he couldn't live without it. And now all of a sudden he has 4 times the amount as me, and he's almost 10 years older. So there's something that's happening with it, and I wouldn't say it if I didn't think it was messed up. So I just think it's messed up. That's all, and that's what I kind of said to him. It pissed me off. It didn't really bother me when Akamoto told me. I'm like, whatever, I'm fighting him anyway, I don't care. And then when weigh-ins came around, for some reason, I kind of got emotionally into it. But when it came down tonight, I kind of just put it all to the side and it was a competition.
And that's what I was going to ask you. How do you do that? Because that's got to be the hard part. When your emotions go and you're angry at somebody for doing something, it's maybe when you don't stick to your game plan and do what you normally would want to do. Was that difficult to kind of rein it in?
It was different. This is probably the first time I've ever had to be like I was kind of emotionally pissed off. So I had to kind of put it to the side. And I wouldn't say it was difficult, but it was a thought process. This is a fight. It's just another competition, is what I thought. And you said that he passed the test, and he did, I guess. But there's like, I guess they do like the level between epitestosterone and testosterone, and so I think that somehow the level remained normal. So anybody who knows their stuff probably could figure out something there.
Okay. And Cowboy, I wanted to ask you, you've been in so many good fights, but this was one of the best pay-per-view cards for a long time. As you kind of looked around and watched the other fights, were you saying, like, these guys are fighting at sort of like the Cowboy level? Did it remind you of yourself watching the other guys go?
It was awesome. The locker room I was in wasn't doing so well. Everyone in there was, not doing so well. So I seen my teammates, John Dotson and Andre, getting it done. So it fired me up, to come out and follow them. It was good, 3-0 for Jackson's, man. But this is for you, champ.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I only got half a beer left, so.
I don't drink. My mic's not working. Oh, there it is.
You don't drink? Oh,
I don't drink.
Here.
We can put it here.
Question for Chris. You had said, in the post-fight, you said, people were still doubting you. I mean, you were a pretty massive favorite. I think I told you that when I talked to you on Thursday. You were like a 5-1 favorite. Was it just a general sense of fans? Was it something in the media that you felt like people were doubting you or still doubting you as champion, or what was it?
Well, Vegas always has my back. That's why all my friends can't make that much money on me, from Anderson Silva fights all the way to now. They're always pretty smart. But no, the general public, Twitter, just in general. I feel like I've done a lot so far. I've beaten Anderson Silva twice, Lino Machida, now Vitor Belfort. I think people got to start realizing something.
And a question for John Dodson. John, congrats on the win. I know, obviously, coming back from the knee injury, everyone was excited to see you back, but I think a lot of people forgot you were coming off a, pretty serious knee injury. So kind of grade your performance in there. I don't think we saw the regular John Dodson performance, but obviously you still got to win, which is the most important part.
Yeah, it was important for me to go out there and try to be exciting and trying to fight as hard as I could coming off that long layoff. I had a ring rust that I had to work through, but Zach McCauley is one of the tremendous athletes. Like, me and him been training for 6 years, so we knew each other in and out. I couldn't give you guys the type of performance knowing that he knew what my strength was, and I knew what he wanted to do too. So it kind of looked like two guys just trying to play chess out there.
You got the win. Do you feel like it's done at this point, that you should get Demetrius Johnson next? I know that's the fight you want now that you've kind of come back from the injury. Do you feel like it's a no-brainer you should get that title shot?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer for me. I always still want to beat up Demetrius Johnson. I don't want to knock him out. Like, that one's not going to be anything different. Like, I thought I won the first time that me and him faced each other, and I believe that this next time that we come around, that the outcome's going to be way different. I'm going to still go out there and beat him up, and I'm going to get a clear decision or a clear victory by knocking him out.
And a question for Andre. Andre, you said after the fight it was tough for you to, to beat Travis the way you did. But out of curiosity, now that it's over, how much did your past training help you? You seemed to come at him with a lot of aggression and like you had something in your mind to go after him. Was it the injury you didn't want it to go very long, or did you know something from training with Travis that you saw an opening that you could expose?
First of all, I didn't know what to expect from Travis because I think he got a victory over Brandon Sharp, plus my coaches, they great, they helped me a lot, and I have two amazing sparring partners who simulate Travis' style. It's John Jones. Thank you very much to John Jones and Jonathan Ham. So it's what I did like 13 weeks, maybe more. I just try to like go forward, throw combinations, and plus all my coaches were in my head all the time. Throw this, throw that, don't do this, don't do that. So it's just great teammates and great coaches team. So I'm blessed man.
And I know you told me before the fight, you said that, you didn't come back just for nostalgia. You came back to win the title. You came back to make another run at it. Do you feel like, you've kind of played, gotten past all the, return questions, is Andre really back? Is he really a top guy? Do you feel like you've answered that? Now it's time for you to start focusing on Kane and Fabricio and those top couple guys.
One step at a time. If somebody gonna call me tomorrow from UFC about my next fight, and it's gonna be my next opponent. But of course, obviously in the future I want to be a champion. But sooner or later it doesn't really matter. I can be like, I can be in the line like as a heavyweight. So I'm good. I still have a few more years in UFC, so I'm good.
And a question for Joseph. Joseph, obviously another big win, another contender. I know you told me before the fight, you said, you're not going to worry about the title anymore. It's more about just, keep beating up whoever they put in front of you. But, kind of the same question I gave to John, kind of grade your performance, and where do you feel like you are right now in this division? Are you content just fighting whoever, or is there somebody in your mind that you feel like you should have next?
Well, I'm a realist, so I know logically it doesn't make sense for me to go for the title right away. I believe in my skill 100% that I can go out there and beat Demetrius, give him the best fight there is. But I've also know I'm not crazy. I lost to him twice. I know that's not the way it works. Dotson's only fought him once. So I think I went out there and put out a great performance against a really tough guy in Moraga. And I'm not going to be here like always just screaming for title shot after title shot. It's like I'm just focused on the things that are in front of me, like Moraga, whoever my next opponent might be, whoever anyone wants to fight me, I would like to fight soon. I only get to fight twice last year. I'd like to fight, 3 times this year. So I'm just ready to, like I said, just handle what's in front of me, which is the fights. That way I'm prepared for when that opportunity comes, whether it's, Dotson or Mighty Mouse, I'm sure they'll probably fight before me. So, I'll be ready for whatever, but just handling who's in front of me, and tonight was a good start.
Guys, quick update. We're going to take a few more for Chris Weidman, and he's going to go back and get stitched. The other guys are on their way, but if we can, the last couple questions here for Chris Weidman, then we'll get to the new guys.
Wow. All right. Hello, from Brazil.
You're the wise guy from Brazil. What do you got for me?
You're my friend, right? We are very, very, very sad in Brazil. Now you are the Brazilian killer, right? If I give you a list of corrupt Brazilian politicians, can you beat them up for us? Can you do this
There you
favor?
go. Now you actually love me. All right, yeah, I got you. Let's do it.
You can do that.
I got it.
And what do you think about the next fight be Anderson Silva and Vitor Belfort? Do you believe it's possible?
The next fight, them versus each other?
Yes.
I mean, sure. Yeah, I mean, why
and
not?
who do you believe will win, Vitor or Anderson Silva?
I don't know.
No?
What do you? Who cares? I don't know.
We
Don't
can.
know. Oh, all right. Don't know. Don't have an answer for you.
Okay, and what's your favorite Brazilian fighter today?
Favorite Brazilian fighter?
Jose Aldo.
Jose Aldo. Yeah, he's up there. I'll go with Anderson Silva. I'm sticking with him. He was a big part of my career for a long time.
Okay, thank you so much. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Chris, all week long, down here front, all week long you were very confident talking about how you were going to finish him first round, second round, and you pulled it off. Can you just talk about where your confidence level is now at this point in your career?
I'm confident, but I'm not overconfident. I know there's a lot of guys that want this belt, and so I'm ready to go back in the gym and keep getting better. I can't afford to start thinking that I'm just too good naturally to go in there and just beat everybody without working hard. So I got to get back and start working. I have a lot of work to do.
Question for Chris Weidman. Chris, at the end of the fight, you told the remaining doubters that was their last chance to get on board with your last invitation. A lot of people would say, though, that people really became believers in you after the Lyoto Machida fight. Had you started to feel that after the Machida victory, or do you feel like that's still something that a lot of people need to understand about you, that you're for real?
Yeah, I'm for real, but I feel like after the Machida fight, there was a good group of people that started following, and there was believers. But then with the time off, the haters just grew stronger and stronger. So I had to come in here and do my thing again.
Once you got that mount on Vitor Belfort, you said he had caught you with a couple of good shots, but that really pretty much seemed to be the end of the fight at that point. Did you feel any resistance from him once you had that mount, or did it feel almost instantaneously like you were shutting it down?
I mean, mount's a tough position to be stuck in. So I'm not gonna. It doesn't matter who it was down there. I feel like I'm pretty good there. It's about getting there, though. It's about getting to that mount position and being able to keep it. And I credit, Matt Serra's, Serra BJJ, Hanzo Gracie's academy, all those guys for teaching me everything I know on the ground.
Question for Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy, a little loud in the arena, so it was a little tough to hear, but it sounded as though you were talking about a difficult training camp and dealing with some injuries. Are those injuries anything that might require some surgery?
Oh,
or?
no.
Okay.
No. That put me out way too long.
Yeah. So with Rafael Dos Anjos out for a little bit and you wait, timing seems to be about right that'd be about the time to come back then.
Yeah, I see a lot of Sunday fun days in my future, my friend, so I should be all right.
Question for Andrei Arlovsky. Andrei right here. Despite the fact that you were really punishing Travis Brown, he was so incredibly difficult to finish there. He caught you at one point and dropped you. How badly did he rock you in that moment that he dropped you?
I was kind of surprised, to be honest with you, and same time I was confused because I throw many punches, and for some reason I thought he's like smiling on all my combinations, and yeah, it was scary, and he dropped me, and it's good that I stood up and finished him, and everything was lucky for me.
And finally, for Joe Benavidez, Joe, you had talked about wanting to fight more frequently. And for all the talk of a title fight and you taking the focus off of that, would you say that that's something maybe important going forward for you for the rest of the years, that you'd like to fight a little more frequently?
Yeah, that's what I said. As far as the title shot, I know it not being next. I mean, that's most important. It's just getting in there. I've fought I think twice, every year, so it doesn't make sense for me to call out any opponent. So I was just calling out whoever wanted to make the fights for me or take a fight with me, and it doesn't make sense for me to call anyone out. But I just feel I can go out there. I'm training hard every day. If I'm training, I'm fighting, and I always put on an exciting fight. So I'm just ready to fight at least 3 times a year, and yeah, that's what I want to do. Just be more active. It's been 6 months since I was in there.
Thanks.
We'll take one more for Chris Weidman. Evie, did you have the question?
During this week, you were saying that Anderson Silva would never beat you, and you felt the same way about Vitor and also Rockhold. I just want to know, what was going through your mind in that first round, when Vitor got you for a little bit, and then when you finally got him, what was going through your mind?
Like I said, it felt almost like a video game. He's punching me, and I just felt his meter going down. And you're used to sparring with 16-ounce gloves on, so I'm kind of used to letting people punch themselves out a little bit, just covering and rolling. And then he hit me with an uppercut, and I'm like, you know what? I probably should move out of here. This is not smart. And then as soon as I got out, I felt his punches kind of get a little slower, and I was just like, he's gonna break before I break. So it was fine.
And do you say as well? You also said that you are not going to see Brazilians in front of you for a little bit. You also think about that, for example, about Jacare, maybe? Do you think he's in your future?
You guys want to keep the Brazilians alive.
Yes.
I understand. And yeah, Jacare would be an amazing competition. So I know Rockhold's here. Rockhold, I think, I'm not the matchmaker, but I feel like Rockhold put on a better last performance than Jacare, even just because of the guys he fought. But I'm not the matchmaker. All I want is a huge fight, and preferably in Madison Square Garden. That's the way I kind of foresee it going.
All right, guys, so we're going to let Chris go. The remaining 3 gentlemen are actually submitting their post-fight analysis test with the Athletic Commission. Thank you, champ. Congratulations. Thanks, champ. Any additional questions for the gentleman on the stage? If not, we'll let them go and we'll resume when we have everyone else.
I just got one for.
Oh, hey, Spencer.
Cowboy, 8 straight now, 9 wins in 10 fights in the last 2 years. We saw a lot of the arsenal tonight. A lot of tricks, a lot of stuff that you were throwing in the workout too. That little back elbow. What has just clicked for you? What has put all of this together? Is it the staying active? Is it getting back to those Sunday fun days?
Yeah, it's drinking this sweet Budweiser, I think, is the trick, man. I wanted to wrestle. You know, there's a lot of things I wanted to take him down, Every time I thought about taking him down, I thought about the comment he made that he turned fucking strikers into wrestlers. And I was like, you pussy. And so every time I thought about it, I didn't do it. And I wanted to, you know, just to work on my game. But I don't know what the secret to success is, man. Just trying to figure out how to tell my heart what my mind wants to do, and it's hard. And fighting is, the people on the couch running at home, I wish I could just plug myself in and play myself a video game because I could kick ass if I could do that. But it's tough. So figuring out, man, I got a strong team. My coaches are awesome, you know. All the guys up at the ranch, we really got a good thing going right now, and I feel that's what it is. You know, we got the secret to success right now, and just kind of let Cowboy be Cowboy, I think, is what my coaches are finally realizing.
John Morgan, you got one? Mark Raimondi?
Cowboy, what exactly were the injuries that you had, and were you at all close to pulling out of the fight?
Oh, the option of pulling out of the fight was absolutely not. So that didn't even cross my mind, you know. My coaches in training, we addressed it. I told the UFC I need to go get an MRI under one condition, that no matter what the decision was, you know, that I won't pull out a fight. So whatever came of the MRI, that was for them. I don't know why they made me go do it, but no, I never once thought about pulling out. Me and Greg over there had a little heart-to-heart about it, but we're good. We're good. Injuries, nah, I'm good. I'm happy.
There was a report that came out on Twitter right before your fight that you were going to retire after this fight.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you saw that, but
where
could that have come from?
I talk about that, you know, how wild and crazy this emotional roller coaster is, and that's just something I tell my coaches every time, like, this is my last one. This is my last one, and Greg always tells me, well, if it's your last one, then goddamn, let's make it your best one. So I say, all right, and then we're done, and I'm like, all right, let's get another one. So, no, not retiring. When I walk up here in a walker one day and they tell me, Cowboy, you cannot fucking physically fight anymore, that'll probably be my last one.
For Joseph, I know you said you're not thinking about the title anymore, but where you sit in the division, it's hard not to. So is there any part of you that thinks about the possibilities, like you become a John Dodson fan and say, you know, I hope this guy wins this fight because it freshens things up for me?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The thing with that is I'm not barking about a title shot. It's always a thought. It's always the main goal, main focus. It always is. But, you know, it's more of just putting your focus on smaller things, like same goal, you know, just different focuses as far as like the fights in front of me, getting more fights, getting better, so I am ready for that opportunity when the major goal does present itself. As far as becoming like a John Dodson fan, it's different because obviously I want to fight Demetrius and be the guy to beat him. If I can get a third crack at him, that'd be great. The guy's beat me twice. Of course I want to beat him. You know what I mean? So but if Dodson wins, that is also probably going to expedite my journey to the title faster, right? So that'll happen. So that would be so either way, you know, I think I'm good. So, you know, it's just taking the positive and looking at both options, you know, positively. So, you know, Dodson wins, that'd be cool. They'd probably give me a title shot right away. But with Demetrius, you know, it's like it would be that much more sweeter to work my way all over there and beat him. So either way, I'll be ready and I'll be getting better every day.
So you're not a John Dodson fan?
Not quite.
Dude, that hurts my feelings.
All right, guys, what we're going to do, Vitor and Anthony are on their way. I'm going to let these guys go back. Congratulations, guys, on your victories. And I'll be here any second. Here's Vitor. You guys can break off. Kevin Aioli.
Congratulations to the champion. Dan, I was wondering if, and right in front of you.
Oh.
I wonder if you can comment on, obviously, you got the cloud hanging over your head of John Jones, and you addressed it a little bit in the cage right there, but, you know.
Hey, guys, keep it down a little bit. Champion speaking. Yeah. Wow. Yes, keep it down. Kevin?
But just can you talk about, do you feel like the champion, you just lost to John, or do you feel like you still need, have something to prove before you're the actual, the guy?
Kevin, you see what's sitting right there?
I do.
That's a gold belt. That thing's reserved for the UFC champion. I didn't disqualify myself from competition. John did. John's a pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world. We all know that. But he disqualified himself from this competition right now. So I am the champion. I'm very proud of what I accomplished tonight. I fought a very tough guy that deserved to be there. If anything, I think what tonight showed is that if John Jones can get his stuff together, I mean, how special is he? That I just beat the guy that people thought that he could beat, and he just beat me. So, I mean, we can't take this guy for granted. He's a special talent, but he has to. It's not about just being a champion inside of the ring. You have to be a champion in all facets of life. And it's unfortunate, but I believe that he'll get himself together, and then him and I will fight again. I said that I'm the kid at the wrestling tournament that's always in your bracket. The wrestling tournament is not one tournament. It's over the course of a year. So maybe John beat me in a dual meet or the regional tournament, but there's still a state tournament and a national tournament. So there's plenty of times for him and I to compete against each other.
And do you feel like you raised your game tonight? I mean, obviously, Anthony hit you with the right hand right at the beginning of that thing. It looked like it might be over for you before it started. But do you feel like from what you did in January till now that you actually raised your game?
You know, man, I think I was actually more committed to what I do good. I was talking to Rashad Evans, and I remember when I watched Rashad fight Jones back in Atlanta in 2012, he abandoned his wrestling. But it's because sometimes you can actually hit Jones. So you feel like, I'm just going to keep hitting him. And you abandon what you do best. But at the same time that you're hitting him, he's hitting you 3, 4, 5 times for every one that you actually land. So you abandon your wrestling. I think tonight I was more focused on wrestling and just really doing what got me to the show. I'm a grinder. I'm a guy that will take you down, make you carry my weight as you're getting up. I'll continue to hit you. I'll continue to press you, push you against the side of the cage until eventually something will present itself, and that's what happened tonight. I mean, Anthony did a phenomenal job early of defending himself on the bottom, but as the round went on and he started to get a little tireder, the opportunities started to present themselves, and that's when I started to get off the elbows and eventually the choke.
Two quick questions, and one, if you can just comment on how buzzed you were when he hit you with the right hand at the beginning, and then secondly, more like it was hard to not think of this since it was just a couple weeks since Mayweather fought in that ring in this arena, and he kind of took the defensive approach, and it's like you didn't go the exciting way, you took the grind it out kind of approach, and is it as satisfying as if you had stood in front of the hardest hitter in the UFC and slugged it out with him?
If I would have stood in front of Anthony, this thing would be sitting on the opposite side of this press conference right now. He hit me so hard, and I was like, man, not only does this guy hit hard, he's very fast. So when he hit me, I fell, and I turned around, and behind me, I saw him coming chasing me. I was like, holy shit, he's coming after me. So I tried to grab him, but then he just started punching me again. And then eventually I was able to grab him and kind of get my head back about me. I wasn't like completely out, but I was like, I did get stunned. That's the first time I've ever been knocked down in practice, competition, anything. I fell in the moment I rolled, because I'm kind of chubby, you know, so you roll when you fall. I looked behind me and there was Anthony. He was like coming and I was like, holy cow, he's right behind me.
I hope that's your game plan next time, bro. Please.
What?
Just stand there.
Hell no, I ain't standing in front of you. Are you crazy?
I can't lie. He wrestled the hell out of me tonight. So I wasn't trying to take your limelight right now, bro.
He hit me one time and look at my face. He hit me on the side of the face one time. I was like, holy cow. He kicked me in the face a couple times too. It sucked.
Yeah, your head hurt my foot.
Daniel, I think you did a great job of explaining why you believe you deserve to be called the real champion. But I'm curious about your decision that the only post-fight statement you made in the cage was to talk about John Jones. Did you consider the fact that maybe you're giving your critics ammunition to say, this guy's not the real champ?
No, because at the end of the day, I mean, you guys, I've been doing this for 5 years, and you guys know that competition drives me. I sat here 5 months ago crying in front of each and every one of you because that guy beat me. So I would love to compete against him. But he's going to be away for a while, so we got to shift our focus. There's somebody else that needs his ass kicked too. I think he's around here. That's Ryan Bader's ass, and I'm going to beat the shit out of him next time. You keep talking, Bader. Keep talking, Bader. Keep talking. Keep talking. This guy's so disrespectful. I'm trying to fight Anthony Johnson, and Ryan Bader's writing me stupid messages on Twitter because he wants people to think that he deserves a title shot. Come on, Ryan. You can come and fight me. You should get your ass kicked like you were going to do in June.
Let's bring it, buddy.
Okay?
2 fights you got out of.
I didn't get out of any fights. Ryan, I didn't get out of any fights. Not once did I say I didn't want to fight Ryan Bader. I asked him to fight me because I just wanted an easy paycheck. I knew that I wanted to fight you. I asked to fight you multiple times, Bader. Bader, come on. I asked to fight you. They said, Daniel, what do you want? I said, I want the easiest fight in the division. I want Ryan Bader. I want the easiest fight in the division. I want Ryan Bader. Just give me my paychecks right now, Bader. Get your ass out of here. This is my press conference. Fuck out of here.
Any questions for AJ now? I'm here.
I was about to get to Rumble. I was glad we had that moment. Rumble, obviously you're disappointed, but you've been positive throughout this. But can you talk about just kind of how you're feeling right now? And was it just the fact, like a big adrenaline dump, that you're kind of tired? Just walk us through what happened.
Daniel, he did an awesome job. He definitely made me carry his weight, and he's heavy as hell. And it wasn't an adrenaline dump. This motherfucker's heavy. Sorry for the language, but I'm just glad to be in this moment right now. You know, nothing. I can't take anything away from Daniel. He did his thing. I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. I wish him nothing but much success.
And just one, if I could, for Vitor. Obviously, a tough moment for you right now. I'm sure there's a lot of processing, but people are wondering what comes next for you. You've been around the game for a long time. Some people were saying they look like they thought you might be able to fight at welterweight sometime in your future. What do you think? What lies ahead for you?
I like to thank my team, my family, people that work with me, you know, for such a long time. It was a long ride, you know. It was a long ride, and I'm happy, but I'm very frustrated at the same time. But I think next is just reset. You know, I think we need to reset. It was a very tough night for me. I didn't expect going the way it is, especially I saw my finish, but you know, he's a champion. He took it and he was the better man of the night, and that's what it is. You know, just going back and just talk to your family and see what it is. And I'm very happy, man. You know, just like having a life beyond the octagon, it's great. Having a life beyond the octagon for me is great. That's what keeps me here and motivated me. So we'll see what's next.
Is there any potential that this is it?
No, I think it's just enjoy the moment. You know, just like I grind for one year and a half, and now I have a lot of things. I have business, I have family. I just need now to just enjoy my life a little bit and just kind of see what's next.
Question for DC. right in front of you. There you go. Congrats, of course, on the win. You said before the fight that, to really get into this, you had to let go of the obsession of being a champion. You had the conversation with your coach, John Smith. How much did that play into the actual fight? Once you got in there, you heard them announcing your name, you knew it was on the line. I mean, did any of that old feeling come back to you, or were you able to really let it go?
I was able to let it go. I'm bothered right now a little bit, but yeah, I was able to let it go. I think I had this weird calm before this competition because it was a competition. It wasn't a fight. Obviously, we're fighting inside of an octagon, but it was a competition. I was going to compete tonight against Anthony Johnson, someone I respect, someone I like. It wasn't me going to try and fight him. I got to try to keep my emotions in check. A lot of times, was that? Yeah, a lot of times I get so caught up, and it's like with me, it's like what you see is what you get. Like, this is me. So if I'm joking, I'm joking. If I'm upset, I'm upset. If I'm sad, I'm sad. You'll get exactly that. And I was so tied to that last fight that it did me no good. So to go out and compete against a guy like Anthony, someone I respect tremendously, for doing all the things that he's done, I've said time and time again that this guy has picked himself up in the face of adversity so many times. I have to respect him not only for what he's done inside of the octagon, but what he's done outside of the octagon. And it felt good to compete against that guy. So yeah, it helped me. But again, it was like when I talked to John, it was like I was a 19-year-old kid again getting recruited by the greatest American wrestler of all time. And I said, if Coach Smith can tell me that I need to let things go and just be okay, I got to let things go and just be okay. So when Anthony knocked me down in the first round, I didn't freak out. I didn't panic. I said, let's get back to the game. I give Cain Velasquez a ton of credit. But if you remember the third fight with Junior Dos Santos, 10 seconds in, he got hit with a left hook, and he was hurt very bad. And he just grabbed him, got his composure, and ended up beating him in a 5-round, submission, I guess. But it's like, you have to stay the course. You have to believe in yourself. And even if it didn't work out, be fine whatever the result is.
You've obviously traveled a lot of roads to get here. The Olympics, everything that happened there. We've talked, numerous times about finally getting that gold. Now that it's sitting in front of you, can you kind of materialize into words like what this moment means to you after everything you've been through?
Man, it's I didn't win the Olympics. I didn't win the NCAA tournament. I didn't win a lot of things. But I won the Strikeforce Championship, and I won this championship. So this will be my last athletics thing that I'll do in my life. And when I put my resume in mixed martial arts, I'm fine now. I won the 2 biggest organizations in the world's championships. So if I was to walk away, I'll walk away. I'm not going anywhere yet because Bader got an ass whipping coming. But after I kick Bader's ass, if you want to walk away, if you're fine, but it's good. We started, man, like we had nothing. Selena and I had nothing. She's been with me since I had one fight. And one time we had our son, a young baby. I was in Strikeforce, and I would barely fight. And Selena and I had a 700 square foot apartment in San Jose, California, 1 bedroom, and we had no money. And my family has no money down in Louisiana. And I was so desperate because we had no gas, we had nothing. We were on welfare. We called my parents, and they don't have much. But my mom, my dad, my brothers, and my sister, they pulled together whatever they had, and they had $575, and they sent it to Selena and I. And it allowed us to actually get through the month until my next sponsorship check from Cage Fighter came, who they sponsored me my entire career up until tonight. And she just stayed there. And she always supported me. And she just always believed in me. And even when I didn't know this day would come, she did. So it's like great to actually give this championship to my parents and to give it to my fiance, because now we're fine. We're okay now.
And one quick question for AJ. When you left the UFC, you talked about that being a wake-up call. So throughout everything else that happened tonight, you didn't come away with a win, but you had a kind of an inspirational speech tonight after the fight. Do you feel like, that's still something positive you can take away as the influence you've had on other people, the fact that you've been able to rebuild yourself to this point? And let's not kid ourselves. I mean, a win or two, you're right back in there, and, there's, part two at DC maybe. So, I mean, do you feel like that's still a positive you can take away of all the things you went through to even get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would have given up, if they went through what I went through. And I'm just proud of myself for not giving up and still trying to be the best person I can be, do the best that I can do, and try and be something in life. My goal is still to be champion one day. And I was on a 9-fight win streak, and Daniel just defeated me, but I promise you I'll be back. And I don't care who I have to fight, when I have to fight them, or where I have to fight them, I will be back. And, whoever's there, hey, let's do it.
Take two more, guys.
DC, I've got a question for you. The interesting thing with this fight is that you were talked about, all the emotion that you had going into John and all the loss, that you didn't get with the Olympics. And I know you just talked about the feeling in that. But is John Jones going to be a figure that kind of looms over you? Will you rest until you have a chance to fight him again?
I mean, as I said leading into this fight, like, we're so tied together, John and I. And I don't think that's going to change until we fight again. Like, even if like he beat me last time, but it's like, even in that, you don't stop believing in yourself. I still think that I can beat him. I mean, I believe I can beat him, and I would love to compete against him again. He's the best guy. So we're tied together, man, and I don't think we're ever going to be apart until I retire from the sport. So there's going to be a few. Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos are tied together. Frankie Edgar and Gray Maynard are tied together. That's just the way it is. And you know what? I think that's what's going to happen with John and I. Because think about it. I mean, Anthony's been phenomenal, and I beat him. So it's like look at what he did to Gustafsson. So there's a clear, at the top, there's a clear two guys at the top of this division. So, even if we were to fight and he somehow won again, I would just beat everybody else and we'd end up fighting again.
But how long can you wait for him?
I'm not waiting for him. I'm going to defend this title. I'm 36 years old. Yeah. What do you mean, wait?
Well, you know what I mean. If he's out for a while, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's him. That's not my issue. Like, he put himself in the situation. He has to deal with those issues. And you know what, man? If John actually comes back and does things the correct way, he's going to be even more scary than he was before. Because now he's got everything in order, not just his life inside the gym and inside of the octagon. He's going to be even scarier than before.
And lastly, how should Kenny and I address you at work now?
You know what? You guys should definitely address me as champ. I don't want you to call champ Cormier. Don't say Daniel.
Okay.
Don't say Daniel ever again. And this thing will be at UFC tonight every week. Guys, get used to seeing it. I will make sure it's always polished. Yeah. I'm so happy, guys. I'm sorry.
You deserve it.
I mean, come on, seriously. I seriously won this thing. So I'm going to put it up in my TV room. I seriously won. I won. That's crazy.
Congrats, DC.
Thank you.
Last question right here.
Eu vou fazer umas perguntas em português para o Vitor. Primeiro, aqui, Vitor, aqui na frente. Como que tá o ombro? Machucou mesmo? Você acha que foi alguma coisa ali no momento?
How's your shoulder? Did you really injure it? Was it something that happened in a moment?
Eu acho que foi quando eu desequilibrei, caí com a mão no chão ali, aquela hora que eu desequilibrei, sentindo dor, mas faz parte do esporte. Mas acho que não foi nada grave, não.
I think it was when I lost my balance and I landed on my hand, but that's part of the sport. I don't think it was anything serious.
Falando, o Weidman falou que ele, naquele momento que você acertou aquela sequência, ele sentiu você cansando. Você acha que você gastou muita energia ali naquele momento? Ou era tudo ou nada? Ou você ficou normal depois daquela sequência?
Não, eu estava bem. Na realidade, quando eu fui dar os 2 passos para trás, eu juntei minhas pernas e não consegui fazer o sprawl. Ele conseguiu a queda e acho que foi a noite dele, entendeu? Ele brilhou. A gente tem que, como atleta, a gente tem que entender que faz parte. Não foi como eu queria que a luta acontecesse. Eu consegui ver a vitória ali na hora. De repente eu usei muitas mãos, eu tinha que usar minhas pernas. Mas acho que foi a noite dele, brilhou na noite dele, conquistou a vitória e parabéns para ele.
The question was, Weidman said that he felt that you were gassing out when you were throwing those combos. Did you feel like you used up all your energy? And Vitor said that he felt like he was using maybe more of his hands than his feet, and when he took 2 steps back, he wasn't able to sprawl, so he was able to take him down. But overall, he felt like he used his hands a lot more than his feet.
Você acha que ali naquele momento no chão faltou um pouco de você usar o seu jiu-jitsu, que foi a sua origem, uma coisa muito da época ainda do Carson Gracie, puxar ele para a guarda, ou ali não tinha como você fazer isso nesse sentido?
Eu acho que tinha, mas é o que eu estou dizendo, agora chorar no leite derramado é só a gente corrigir os erros, né? Na realidade, tirar o mérito dele também não posso tirar. Ele estava muito pesado ali, conseguiu conectar os golpes e não consegui na hora de usar meu jiu-jitsu.
And when you're on the ground, did you feel like you're missing a little bit of jiu-jitsu, that Carlson Gracie strategy, pull guard and work the ground? And yes, maybe a little bit, but he was very heavy on top, and that's how it ended.
A última, the last one. Como que você acha agora, depois de todo esse tempo, como que você acha que você vai ser recebido pela torcida no Brasil? O que você espera? Você acha que vão te apoiar para você continuar lutando? Qual que é a sua expectativa nesse sentido?
Eu acho que eu fiz muita coisa para o esporte. Eu acho que quando você tem uma vida além do octagon, eu acho que meus fãs, meu Brasil, meus patrocinadores acabaram de ligar que estão comigo, independente do resultado. É muito bacana você ver o carinho e o respeito de todos eles, dos fãs. E na vida é assim, o importante na vida é você nunca desistir, né? Você não pode deixar que uma circunstância, uma situação te deixe parar de sonhar. Então, acho que na minha vida eu aprendi que o segredo é você viver uma vida acreditando sempre.
The question was, after this fight, how do you think you're going to be perceived by your fans and received in Brazil? And Vitor said that it's not one fight that's going to make a difference. I have a life outside of the octagon, and I got phone calls from my sponsors that saying they're with me regardless, and it's very good to see the respect from the fans and everything else. And it's something that I've learned in life that, you know, when you take a hit, then, you know, you got to move on. It's not one thing that's going to make you stop.
Close it down, Kev.
Dan, I just wanted to ask you, you referenced you would see John again. If you beat him, you're going to probably see him at least 2 more times. Is the prospect of going through that emotional grind overwhelming just because you know how emotional you got and you're probably going to be each time you see him? Is that kind of a daunting task to look at, knowing you may see him a couple more times, not just once?
I have to be better, Kev. I have to make sure that I'm not emotionally invested. I have to separate myself from that and know that I'm there to compete against that guy. And you know what, man? If I can keep my emotions in check, I didn't get the job done. We had a very tough fight early, and then John stayed the course and did a phenomenal job of winning those last 2 rounds going away. He does a great job. I mean, if we're talking about fighting, he's as good as they come. So I have to separate myself from the emotion, and if I can do that, I'll feel fine going into a rematch.
Thank you, guys.
Dave, no. Dave. Guys, what is it with Dave Schaller? And when him and I are on a stage together, people just are so disrespectful. Ryan Bader just came up here. If Dana was here, Bader would have never did that. Jones kicked Schaller's ass. Jones kicked your ass at the press conference at the MGM Grand.
It was John Anik.
What is this deal? This guy, I mean, seriously, what's up with that?
Wasn't me.
Why do they disrespect Schaller in that way every time?
Have a good night, everybody. Congratulations,
Schaller,
champ.
come on.
Congratulations.
Of you, I want you to.